and welcome back to the Educator Sanctuary, where we have big conversation, mindset shifts, personal growth, and all the things that literally help us live, move, and breathe more intentionally. Whether you are a mom, a teacher, a community leader, or if you are just a woman holding space for others, this show is for you. It's actually a different show today, so let me start by saying that I didn't think that I would be doing this type of podcast, but something happened in the last couple of weeks that had me pretty much just like cracking up on the inside, maybe even side-eyeing myself like, girl, and also reminding me that sometimes we go looking for resources for what we need in the wildest places. And then we get surprised when the real breakthrough comes from something totally different. So today, buckle up because I've got a story for you. And it starts on TikTok. Everything starts on TikTok. But there is a trending sound. And it says like, post your Cash App. You never know like what you're going to get or something like that. I don't remember the exact sound. But there was a lady who posted this sound with a video. And it was nothing on the video, by the way. It was just like a little lampshade or whatever that she was promoting from the TikTok shop. And she posted the video with the sound, post your Cash App. But in the caption, she says, where are those pay pigs that, you heard about? And so I'm like, what is a pay pig? Now, because I didn't know what a pay pig was, I ignored that first video. Like I saw it, but it's like I didn't see it all at the same time. And it rolled back around on my page maybe a few days later. And the girl says, oh my gosh, that video that I made about pay pigs went viral. And I think she said she had like over $2,000. So I'm like, wait, hold up. What is a pay pig? And so there's, of course, tons of people asking her, like, what's a pay pig? And so she's answering questions and she's like, guys, this is so random. One of the most random things I've ever done. But apparently, pay pigs are people who just want to bless people with money. Like they just pay people. And so she's saying, she didn't know who her pay pig was, very random person. And he just started, or she, because she doesn't know if it's a he or she, but the pay pig just started sending money. And in probably like a week's time, she had made close to $10,000 in 7 days from pay piggy. And I'm like, I'm very intrigued because I want to make $10,000 a week for some work that I don't have to do. And so that's how I started down the rabbit hole of the pay pig. Like it really caught my attention. And I'm like, okay, if I can get a pay pig for my microschool, we're doing good things. We're building up the community. We're making amazing things happen. So why would I not be worthy of a pay pig? And so I posted my own little video, right? I'm like, yeah, I have a good cause, right? This cause should intrigue someone to want to support our cause. That video flopped. And when I say flop, I am at a point where I'm used to having videos go viral or semi-viral. And there's a few videos that don't do as well, but they get really good engagement. So they might not have thousands of views, but they always have like hundreds of comments. And so that video flopped. And I mean, flop, like 300 views, just a few likes, a couple of random comments, but nothing that would make me say like, oh, this video popped off, like I got good engagement from it. So I was like, okay, well, I don't know, maybe I posted at the wrong time, maybe I didn't do something right. So I tried again, maybe a couple days later, and I posted a second one, but that one was worse than the first one. 20 views, no comments, one little lonely like. Child, I hit that video. I hit it. I was like, this needs to go in the archives because I don't have any videos on my page with 20 views. So I just was like, I don't understand, because when you watch things on TikTok, once you watch things, like it'll start bringing it back into your feed on your FYP. And so I was wondering what's going on, because I am looking at other videos that have thousands of views. Thousands of them. And their videos weren't any different from mine. And so I'm like, well, what are those people doing that I'm not doing? And so here's the twist that I came to the conclusion of. While my little pay pig experiment was literally crashing and burning, there was something else working behind the scenes in real life, because I didn't just make those pay pig videos but I continue with my other content. I'm continuing with my emails. I'm continuing meeting people and putting myself out there. I'm continuing with my prayers and my devotionals and my journaling and all this other stuff, right? And so while I never got a pay pig, literally never, I didn't necessarily depend on that, because I'm like, that was just something that I was putting out there to see, because yeah, if I can get an extra $10,000 from a pay pig, I would love that. But on the other side, the emails that, started coming in, I started getting like Zoom calls from everywhere. Parents are starting to sign up for experience days. We got 5 new kids like coming for experience days. And, people are asking me about summer camp signings and things like that. And I was like, oh, hold up. Like, I don't need a pay pig. I don't need a pay pig, because God already knows what it is that I need. And so while I'm like, yeah, would I mind a random person? No, because I do realize that God can use anything and anyone to be a blessing. But the truth is, I'm actually not seeking a pay pig. I am actually seeking purpose. I'm seeking living in alignment with my purpose, and the provision that God has already assigned for me is already built into that purpose. And so I thought about it and I'm like, that is so funny, right? And so now I still see the videos with the pay pigs and people are like, oh, I got $2,000, I got $400, I got $60. And I laugh. I'm like, I keep checking my Cash App. I'm like, well, yeah, I still don't have anything in my Cash App from a pay pig. But I thought about how it's funny, because we all have moments where we're tempted to chase what I call like the shortcut, the easy fix, the quick win, the fast check, or whatever. Everybody wants to go viral. Everybody wants to make, some money that they don't necessarily have to work for. And it sounds good in the moment. I'm not going to lie. It always sounds good in the moment, especially if you're under pressure to reach your goals or make things happen. But most of the time, what we're really looking for is not money or attention from going viral. People are looking for security. People are looking for peace. And it is important to realize that that does not come from chasing the next trend or forcing something to happen. It's so easy to be like, yeah, God's got me, God's providing. But then you turn around and you try to make it happen on your own. You start looking for a pay pig. You start reaching, you start hustling, you start posting, you start pitching. But all of this starts to come from a place of like, I need this to work. And of course, as we talked about last week, is that when that's your energy, it's not faith, it's necessary. It's more or so fear. And we get so locked in on how we think things have to show up in our lives that we miss what is already moving in our favor. Myself included, sometimes I'm refreshing my inbox or refreshing my views. Like, is this video viral? Is this the video that's going to get me the brand deal? Am I going to reach my downloads on the podcast so that I could get a sponsored show? Things like that. And so it takes your attention off of noticing that something better is already unfolding for you. For example, I remember when I had my online shop, my average order for my online shop was about $52 per person. And don't get me wrong, I was so excited about that. I was making money, I was making sales, and I'm like, yes, $52 per person. If I can just get, 5 or 6 people a day to do this, I can reach this goal, and I'm, my wheels are turning in my head for how am I going to be able to reach the goals that I have for myself. And I think about that because I was just telling my mom the other day, like, she asked me, how was I doing with everything? And was I excited about the school and the things that has happened this year? And I said, it's so funny because my life today is nothing like I imagined that it would be, especially based on the last couple years. The last couple years have just been a place of growth. And the growth has been very uncomfortable, very unlike anything that I'm used to or have experienced. I have definitely been in my season of being stretched. as they call it. And so when I said, I never thought that I would be where I am today. And she said, I think you have thought about being where you are today, because there were times in your life when that's all you really talked about. Like, you always said that you wanted a school and you always wanted to do this, and you've always had these big dreams and goals. And she's like, I think you have thought about it. Maybe you hadn't thought about it, in a while, or maybe, life has taken over and caused you to maybe lose sight of something. She said, but I remember you saying things about what you wanted, and they were exactly the things that you are doing today. And I say, you know what? I didn't think of it that way. And what you're saying is pretty fair, but to also be fair to me, I think that my life today is better than I imagined. Not that I have every single thing that I would like, not that every single goal on my goal sheet is checked off, not that I've traveled to every place that I've wanted to go yet, but it is better than I could have imagined. And when I think about all of the things that I have to do in the position that I am in, sometimes it gets a little bit scary too, because I'm like, whoa, God, you have really positioned me, because I came from a place where I had to worry about myself, but now I'm not worried about just myself. I'm worrying about myself. I have people that work for me that I have to worry about. I have families that are coming to me that I have to worry about. And so I'm not getting up and waking up every day and just planning life for myself. I'm planning life for lots of other people. And I have to just be grateful to say, God, you really trust me with this vision, because there's so many people depending on me to show up every day to help make their lives better. But at the same time, that was my prayer. My prayer has always been, God, use me in a way that's going to help make other people's lives better. And God said, I got you. And so when I think about it in that way, part of it is scary, because it's like, can I keep up with everything? Do I have all the resources? Will I have all the money? Because it's going to take a lot of money to do the big grand things that I want to do. And because of that, it's like, yes, it would be nice to have a pay pig. It would be nice to have someone who will throw consistent payments my way so that I can carry out my vision. But God said, nah. Oh, I got people positioned for purpose. You don't need a pay pig. I got people positioned for purpose. You don't need a pay pig. I have people who are aligned with your mission. You don't need a pay pig. I have people who are excited about what you have to offer, that's looking for you. You don't have to go looking for anybody. I got people looking for you. You don't need a pay pig. You don't need people who are just here for the moment, because I got people who are here for the movement. You don't need a pay pig, because I'm giving you people that's going to be your mouthpiece to profess what you got going on. So basically, I was like, cool. I'm cool. I'm going to sit my little self back down. And, I said, when you are rooted in purpose, you get to see the right people and the right opportunities and the right support is for you. It's already lining up for you. It's already there. And you don't have to go seek anything out, because you're going to be able to attract it in. So that was my big lesson. And I hope that this lesson is also something that is helpful to you. So as you all know, on this podcast, Educate Her Sanctuary, okay, there is homework there is homework every time. Not almost, there's homework every single time. But the homework assignment for the week is to pretty much ask yourself, like, are you moving through your life from a place of purpose, or are you moving through life by a pace of panic? Meaning, you may not seem like you're fearful, but are you making decisions based on whether you're feeling like you're running out of time? Are you making decisions in your life based on where you think you should be based on someone else's timeline for your life. And so that's what I mean when I say, are you moving from purpose or panic? Not that you're fearful, but there are some of us who feel like the time clock is ticking. There are some of us who feel like, oh, I'm not where I should be, or they have more than me, or something like that. And then share one way that you're actually going to choose alignment over your anxiety. And you can DM me, you can post it on your social media, you can journal it, keep it secret to yourself. You can put it somewhere where you can see it all the time to remind yourself that you are positioned for purpose. And just continue to remind yourself that everything that you seek is also seeking you, that everything that you desire is already on its way to you. And knowing that the provision may not look how you expect it to look, but it doesn't mean that it's not coming. So whether your blessing, because it wasn't mine, but whether your blessing comes from a pay pig, an unexpected payment from somewhere else, a new opportunity, something completely out of the blue, remember that when you stay focused on what's real and aligned, everything will fall into place for you. If you want to dive deeper into living out your purpose, please check out the devotional that I recommend titled Minding Your Own Heart Space, created by yours truly. The link is in the show notes. And if you found value today, please subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who needs it. And I always ask for reviews, but then someone asked me, how do I even leave a review? And so I have not looked at every podcast app, but I am often on Spotify and I'm often on Apple. And I know that if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, underneath the show, you're going to see a place where you can leave a rating and write a review. Please, please, please do so. I want to make sure that I am creating the content that is helpful to you, that is valuable to you, that is going to move you from point A to point Z, and you feel like you're going to end up in a better place in life just because you listened to this podcast and you got some good stuff from it. But either way, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I will catch you next time right here at the Educators Sanctuary. Please follow on YouTube, subscribe everywhere, and share. And I will see you all soon. And in the midst of that, keep showing up, keep living with intention, and don't forget that what's meant for you is already on its way. Nobody can take it away. Talk soon. Thank you for joining me in the Educator Sanctuary, where we create a space for women educators to reclaim their power and prioritize themselves unapologetically. If you've loved what you've heard, please do not forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this podcast with other amazing women who need to hear this message. Until next time, remember, you are capable, you are powerful, and you are absolutely worthy. You've got this. Talk soon.